because of a horrific car accident. His wife and daughter were both rushed into the ICU. The doctor told him that both of them were in critical condition, and their chances of survival were incredibly slim. Jack tightly held the cold hands of his wife and daughter, constantly praying for a miracle to happen. But in the end, no miracle came. His wife let out one last stubborn tear and stopped breathing forever. Right at that crushing moment, a faint red light quietly flashed between their locked hands. Immediately after, his deeply comatose daughter slowly opened her eyes on the hospital bed, looking at her near-broken father leaning by the bedside. She quickly comforted him, but the very first words out of her mouth made Jack instantly freeze in his tracks. "It's me. I'm your wife, Anna." At first, Jack just thought his daughter was still delirious after barely escaping death, so he dismissed those ridiculous words. But when she woke up the next day, she said the exact same thing, and her story got more and more specific. From the scene of their very first meeting, to the private, intimate details that only the husband and wife knew, Jack suddenly felt a cold shiver run down his spine. He tried to tell himself it was impossible, but every single word lined up perfectly, and she knew details clearly that even he had almost forgotten. Jack instantly realized his wife's soul had somehow possessed their daughter's body, meaning, in a sense, their daughter no longer existed. No matter how heartbreaking and unbelievable this was, life had to move on. Spring soon arrived. Jack brought his recovered wife back home. Anna was exactly the same as before, nagging Jack about not cleaning up the second she walked through the door. Seeing her favorite plants on the verge of dying, she blamed Jack for not watering them on time. In the morning, when Jack left for work, Anna would see him off just like she used to. Every time she sent him out, she would habitually check if he had shaved cleanly. That evening, Anna put on their daughter's high school uniform. As she was about to go to school acting as their daughter, Anna said she could live with two identities from now on. She'd be the daughter outside, and the wife once she stepped back inside the house. Jack had no choice but to agree to his wife's pitch, as it was the best solution he could think of. After that, Anna used amnesia as an excuse to get to know her classmates all over again. She studied the textbook material hit hard, trying her best to play the daughter without leaving any flaws. She knew her daughter's personality and daily habits inside out, so nobody on the outside noticed anything weird. As days bled into weeks, Anna gradually got used to living this double life. One day, she suddenly asked Jack what they were going to do about their intimacy as husband and wife. Hearing this, Jack couldn't help but spit out his food. He obviously had normal feelings and urges, but he had never once thought about crossing the line with his daughter's body, so he told Anna very seriously never to bring this topic up ever again. The next day, Jack ran into his daughter's homeroom teacher at the supermarket. He chatted with the teacher about his daughter's academic progress, and then the two of them sat down on a park bench. The teacher was young and gentle, with a soft expression when she spoke, and the way she looked at him carried a different kind of vibe. It wasn't that Jack didn't feel a spark. That tiny bit of attraction was like a fish in the water, poking its head out briefly before sinking right back down. He still suppressed those thoughts deep in his heart, but as fate would have it, Anna saw this entire scene right as she got out of school. After the teacher left, Anna casually asked a few questions, and Jack quickly changed the subject, terrified she would overthink it. The two of them sat on the swings, chatting as they swayed back and forth. Anna said very seriously that she wanted to apply to medical school, thinking maybe she could find answers to what happened to them through medicine. Plus, since God gave her a second chance at life, she didn't want to let it go to waste. She wanted to use this young body to experience a life she never had before, and make up for the regrets she left behind back then. Looking at the spark in her eyes, Jack felt a bitter twinge in his heart, unable to quite describe the feeling, but after a brief hesitation, he nodded and agreed. From that day on, Anna was like a tightly wound clock, juggling household chores while burying her face in books. Even while waiting for water to boil, she was silently memorizing facts. A young brain was flexible to begin with, and paired with her stubborn drive to win, she actually managed to get accepted into medical school. That night, the two of them went out for a few drinks to celebrate. Anna suddenly brought up that young homeroom teacher, saying if Jack really liked her, he should boldly go after her, and she wouldn't stand in his way. Jack didn't say a word, but his eyes darkened. The two of them drank until very late before heading home, and Anna was heavily wasted. Jack helped her to bed, and reached out to help her change into comfortable pajamas, but the moment his fingers touched the button, he recoiled instantly as if he'd been burned. In the end, he just tucked her in with the blanket. Right then, Anna suddenly grabbed his hand and slowly opened her eyes. There was no drunken confusion in those eyes. It was clearly the look a wife gives her husband. It wasn't that Jack wasn't tempted, but looking at his daughter's face, only one thought remained in his mind. Even though it was his wife's soul, the body belonged to his daughter. The entanglement of the two left him completely trapped in a dilemma. Anna read the struggle in his eyes. She knew this wasn't something that could be forced, so she took the initiative to suggest they sleep in separate rooms. Jack felt incredibly miserable too, but after thinking it over, there really was no better way. From that day forward, they slept in separate rooms, and their life paths began to drift in completely different directions at that very moment. After that, Anna started her brand new college life. She listened to professors' lectures in university, and actively participated in campus club activities. She even joined the sailing club, where she met a young, handsome upperclassman. She immersed herself in this second youth, enjoying a college life that was a world away from being a housewife. In stark contrast to Anna's colorful campus life, Jack's days became increasingly monotonous and dull. He would often space out at home by himself, weathering one boring weekend after another all alone. Whenever women on the outside tried to make a move on him, he would firmly turn them down. But coming home from work every day, he could only endure the crushing loneliness in a cold, quiet house. Jack kept holding onto his moral baseline, but as time slipped away, Anna grew further and further apart from him. Jack noticed his wife was coming home less and less, and she gradually became reluctant to even say a few words to him. He also discovered his wife was constantly on the phone with the upperclassman, and they would chat for hours on end. Sometimes, Anna wouldn't get home until very late, and the one dropping her off was that exact handsome upperclassman. Jack warned her not to cross any lines, but Anna just said he was overthinking it. They were just ordinary friends, but Jack shot back, saying the guy definitely had other motives. "Don't forget, you are my wife." After that, Jack installed a wiretap on the house phone. That night, he overheard Anna agreeing to a date with the upperclassman. The guy on the phone wanted to meet up with Anna and was planning to confess his love to her face to face. The next day, Jack didn't stop Anna from heading out, but in his heart, he had already decided to sabotage the date. He quietly followed Anna to the date spot and stepped in as a father to put an end to their dynamic. Once they got back home, Jack and Anna erupted into the most explosive fight of their marriage. For his wife's sake, he had given up the gentle, pretty teacher and turned down the advances of a female coworker. He guarded his baseline, suppressed his own desires, and at the same time, he expected Anna not to do anything to betray him. He wouldn't allow Anna to cheat on him, nor would he let her get tangled up with another man. But looking at it from Anna's perspective, what other choice did she have? She was occupying her daughter's body. She had to live on as their daughter. Afterward, Jack went out to drink his sorrows away all by himself until late into the night. His mind was completely consumed by what to do moving forward. When he pushed open the door and got back home, he found that Anna seemed like a completely different person. It was like that vicious fight from the afternoon had never even happened. Wearing a lace nightgown, she slipped right into Jack's bed. Jack knew exactly what Anna wanted to do. She wanted to use this method to patch up the cracks that had formed between them. But looking at his daughter's face, Jack simply couldn't cross that line in his heart. He absolutely could not bring himself to do that to his daughter's body. Even knowing his wife's soul was inside, it still filled him with pure guilt. It wasn't until his commute home from work one day that Jack ran into an unexpected person. It was Lee, the son of the bus driver from the car accident years ago. The two of them had a brief chat, and that's when Jack learned Lee wasn't actually the driver's biological son. The driver had known the truth all along, but he had never mistreated the mother and son. Later, Lee's mother fell ill, and the driver worked himself to the bone night and day, just wanting to earn a little extra cash for medical bills. The exhaustion kept piling up, until that fateful morning when the steering wheel slipped, and the bus went straight off a cliff. Lee spoke with a completely calm tone, as if he were telling a story that had nothing to do with him. But listening to it, something inside Jack's heart slowly let go. He suddenly understood one thing: that driver had worked himself to death, just trying to give his family a slightly better life. In the end, the man was gone and the family fell apart, but the intention was completely pure. Only when a man makes his family happy can his heart truly find peace. When he got back home, he found his wife in the yard, but he changed the way he addressed her, calling her by their daughter's name instead. He decided to release his grip on his wife, letting her go live the life she actually wanted. That night, Jack drank a ton of alcohol, drowning alone in the grief of losing his wife. But when the next morning came, how things unfolded completely caught him off guard. His wife addressed him as daddy. He instantly realized the person in front of him was his daughter, not his wife. His daughter's soul had actually come back. His daughter looked completely bewildered. Her last memories still stuck on the day of the car accident 2 years ago. Jack broke the news of his wife's passing to his daughter. He told his daughter that for the past 2 years, his wife had been living life in her place. He pulled out the photos taken over the last 2 years, telling his daughter everything that happened step by step. The massive wave of information gave his daughter a splitting headache, and unable to take it all in at once, she fainted straight onto the bed. When she woke up again, her tone of voice shifted right back to his wife's. Jack knew exactly what this meant in his heart. Their daughter's soul was slowly waking up, and his wife was probably about to disappear forever. They didn't have much time left. During those final days, Jack completely put his work on hold, staying by Anna's side every single second. During the day, she was the daughter, a vibrant teenage girl, chirping away to him about school drama, and occasionally recording a clip for the camera, saying it was to show her mom how she looked now. When night fell, the daughter would fall asleep and the wife would wake up, and the two of them would chat casually just like the old days. The mother and daughter shared one body, relying on a journal to leave notes for each other, using this method to get through every single day before the final goodbye. But Jack slowly noticed that the daughter was staying awake for longer and longer stretches. Recalling the research he had read before, he knew his wife's soul would completely vanish sooner or later, until finally, this day came when Jack and Anna arrived at that familiar beach, the exact spot where they went on their very first date when they were young. The ocean breeze blew in with a faint, salty scent, and Anna knew this was their final meeting. As the sunset painted the ocean surface a brilliant orange, she reached out and gently stroked Jack's jawline. That movement was incredibly soft and slow, like tracing an old keepsake she would never see again. Then, she rested her head on Jack's shoulder and closed her eyes. From that moment on, Anna never woke up again. Years flashed by in the blink of an eye, and his daughter was getting married. At the wedding, Jack handed his daughter's hand over to the groom, who turned out to be Lee, who had later opened a ramen shop. After the wedding ceremony ended, his daughter tracked Jack down. She thanked her father for raising her, and thanked him for everything he had sacrificed for her over all these years. Right after finishing her words of gratitude, she subconsciously stroked Jack's jawline. Jack didn't think much of it at first, but all of a sudden, he froze in his tracks as if hit by a bolt of lightning, because his daughter had never had the habit of touching his jaw. This specific little gesture was a habit that belonged solely to his wife. That was the exact moment he finally understood. The person standing in front of him wasn't his daughter at all, but his wife. Turned out, from the very beginning to the bitter end, their daughter's soul had never actually returned. Turned out, his daughter's awakening years ago was nothing but an illusion and a lie faked by his wife. At the very end of the story, Lee tracked them down. Jack said to Lee, "I want to punch you twice, one punch for my daughter, and the other for someone else." He floored Lee with a single punch, but after that, he never threw the second one, because hidden inside that second punch was a secret that only he and Anna would ever know, and that secret was using Jack's grief and letting go, in exchange for Anna's freedom and release.
おめでとう。